This is your Daily 5 for Wednesday, April 8th, 2026. I actually meant to talk about this article earlier in the week, but then a couple things came up and I sort of forgot about it, but then somebody had referenced it on Blue Sky, and I'm really glad they did because it is absolutely worth talking about. It is an article over on Aftermath, which is a great website that I support financially and, as a person talking about their articles and trying to get their names out there, not that they need my help. And the title of the article is "I Feel Like I'm Going Insane." And the subject of the article is I'm not going to call it an interview because that's not what it is. It would be a factual error to call it an interview. It's not an interview. A article was published by the publication Esquire. I don't know if they still have a physical magazine or not, but they're not a new name. They've been around for a while. They're basically a celebrity gossip type, but pretending to be higher end magazine thing, or what if they may be online only, but whatever they are now, they were trying to put together a feature on an actor in the live action adaptation of One Piece, which I know nothing about. I don't know anything about the source material. I don't know anything about the adaptation, so I really don't care about that part of it. But essentially, they had done a photo shoot and they had a deadline to publish this feature, but they could not get any responses for interview questions from the actor. And so what they chose to do was to feed apparently previous interview material, from what I can tell in this article. There's some weird quotes in this article from Esquire on what they did, but it appears that they fed responses from previous interviews, and I would assume public scraping of whatever information there is about this actor, and created a chatbot that they then posed questions to and published the answers as if they were an interview, which they most certainly are not, because an interview works if somebody is giving thoughtful responses, which a chatbot can't. And reading this, and I'm going to link to the article, of course, and it is beautifully written. The anger, the seething hatred for this technology is just magnificent to see. But I occasionally, probably every 3-4 months, I have a group of people who are not into technology, who aren't coders, who aren't oriented towards this technology in any way, but also don't have any connection to technology in a broader sense. And I just kind of feel them out on how they're looking at AI, because it's been around for long enough now that things change and people's attitudes can evolve, that type of thing. And almost universally, people are either completely disinterested and don't care, or don't want it. And what's fascinating is most of the people who don't want it, they're not afraid of Skynet. That's the thing that I see a lot of times, is the idea, everybody's afraid of Skynet. It's going to become alive. No real people who aren't already in the tech sphere and aren't generating weird stuff because they spend a lot of time in the tech sphere. Most ordinary people are not concerned about that. What they are worried about is exactly what this article is describing. There's a right-wing fringe conspiracy theory called replacement. I think it's called replacement theory or something like that. It's nutso stuff. But this is actual replacement theory. Now, of course, this is a celebrity. But what most people are actually that I tend to ask about this when they have some awareness of the technology is they say, well, is this stuff going to be able to imitate me and, compromise my identity, take out loans, basically a much more advanced form of identity theft, which is a form of replacement theory. And this is exactly why people are against this technology, unless, again, they're coders or unless they understand some of the medical applications. There are good uses for it. But what most people are afraid of is exactly what this article is posing as a very real possibility, that somebody can find information about you and simulate you to some degree. And the fact that this was presented as an interview, which, again, it absolutely is not an interview. It in no way bears any resemblance to an interview. It is a set of formatted responses by a machine based on what it believes is the highest probability of a correct answer to or I should say a desired answer, might be better, to the response posed to it. It has no thought, it has no intention, it has no feeling, it has no meaning. It is nothing. But again, when stuff like this becomes more and more prominent, when people hear about it, this is not the first case of this is where most non-technology oriented people's concerns come from. And the more it happens, the more concerned they're going to be later.